nearly $931.4 million. That's what the Federal Reserve will spend on printing bills in 2024. However, there's a problem with cash, and that is that the currency hasn't been modernized in over 10 years.
The Benjamin is getting a makeover. New security features, new ink, and a new look. Behold the modern $100 bill, the most eye-catching addition, a 3D ribbon.
With the advancement of new technologies and the rise of electronic money, about 41% of Americans did not use cash for periods of 1 week in 2023.
Cash is going out of fashion. Replacing it is the digital wallet. So prevalent, it's almost possible to get by with just your phone.
However, the demand for cash is growing, and several experts assert that cash won't disappear. In fact, due to the high inflation rates in recent years, there is more money in circulation than ever before. So, as electronic transactions don't completely replace the use of cash, bills will continue to be part of Americans' lives. So, what's wrong with our cash, and how can we fix it? Countries like Australia, Canada, and New Zealand have switched to using polymer bills, a form of plastic that is more durable, flexible, and, above all, much cheaper to produce than the paper dollars used by Americans.
To hundreds of years, paper currency is fading away. Governments around the world are putting their money on a more durable material, plastic.
The Bank of England says polymer notes will last more than twice as long in circulation, which would cut costs.
The new C-note is almost indestructible, and it is practically impossible to duplicate.
Due to the high inflation rates in recent years, cash production has been growing year after year, between 1.5% and 2%, reaching its peak in 2022 with a staggering 9.1%.
Inflation has hit its highest point in more than 4 decades.
Inflation is up 9.1%.
This is 0.5% higher than May's rate, which was the biggest yearly increase since 1981.
For decades, the $1 bill was the most popular currency in the United States. Still, in 2017, for the first time in history, the $100 bill surpassed the $1, giving us a clear example of the alarming inflation rate the country has been experiencing.
A new bank rate survey finds about 2 in 3 employed Americans received a pay raise since October of last year. However, 60% of workers say their income has not been enough to keep up with inflation.
This inflation has caused the purchasing power of Americans to fall, with 10% less compared to previous years. The rise in prices of fuel, used cars, and housing has made Americans feel that their money is worth less. And they are right.
Gas prices, they are going back up. In fact, the average for a gallon of regular is now the highest it's been in 9 months.
Currently, there are 18.5 billion $100 bills in circulation. $1 bills are the second most circulated, with 14.3 billion bills, and $2 bills are the least circulated, with 1.5 billion. Some speculate that the increase in the circulation of $100 bills could also be due to tax evasion or illegal activities, since cash can be exchanged anonymously. Several denominations of bills have been discontinued due to their low usage, such as $2 bills, $500, $1,000, and $5,000 bills. Since the late 1960s, the Federal Reserve thought these bills would no longer be used in the future. In fact, with checks and credit cards on the rise, it was thought that cash would become completely obsolete in 10 years. Although cash is used less today than before, it has not been completely displaced, as places like New York and Philadelphia even demand that businesses accept cash. Alternatives to cash, while useful in terms of convenience, can also be harmful to consumers, as 6 out of 10 Americans say ease is key to spending. So much so that it has even gotten out of hand.
More than $1 trillion. That's how much it would take to get Americans out of credit card debt.
Is a record, and it says more people rely on credit cards to pay for everyday essentials.
The budget for 2024 to produce paper bills is $931.4 million. However, nearly 28% of that is allocated to the actual bill production, while 63% is allocated to general manufacturing expenses, general support, research, and engraving. This makes the production of bills made of a blend of 25% linen and 75% cotton very inefficient. There are alternatives to linen and cotton bills, such as plastic polymer bills, which would reduce production costs by 35%, and several countries around the world have already made the switch. However, the Federal Reserve does not believe it is a good decision. claiming that the transition is inefficient and costly.
The U.S. government has no plans to convert to polymer. The raised printing in combination with the cotton linen substrate gives the U.S. dollar its own uniqueness.
So why countries like Canada, England, and all of Europe done it? Some experts claim that the Federal Reserve's choice to print paper bills is a waste of money, driven by special interests.
Vendors hire lobbyists to make sure that the mint buys the same type of alloy for their coins, or in the case of paper, it's a major part of their production. If they lose that production, they lose jobs. As an organization, they lose power.
Another negative effect with current bills is that they are printed with toxic ink to prevent counterfeiting, making the production of these bills not only costly and inefficient, but also environmentally harmful. Despite this, the use of cash has some advantages over other forms of payment, such as credit cards, where you have to pay an extra 4% on the value of your consumption. This has kept cash as one of the main forms of payment used by Americans. And as long as cash continues to do its job well and digital payment mechanisms do not definitively replace it, cash will be with us for a long time.